try this again. We're having some trouble hearing you.
We'll call the January 14, 2020 meeting of the Greenwood Redevelopment Commission to order. Amanda, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Present.
Mr. Hoover?
Here.
Mr. Malone?
Here.
Mr. Hopper?
Here.
And non-voting advisor, Mr. Alexander?
Here.
Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Mr. Watson for the organizational matters.
Thank you. First thing on the list of things to take care of is the swearing in of the commissioners. So I need all 5 of you to swear. Follow me. I state your name.
I, Mr. Hoover,
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
my duties as a member of the Greenwood Redevelopment Commission
my duties as a member of the Redevelopment Commission
of the City of Greenwood, Indiana,
of the City of Greenwood, Indiana,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and according to the law, so help me God.
and according to law, so help me God.
Thank you. And that brings us to the verification of the fiduciary bonds. And I've been advised by the Redevelopment Commission's recording secretary that all of those are signed and in place. And I think there are 2 that just recently were signed, and they will be recorded shortly. So we're ready to go on that. Which brings us to the election of officers. Each year we re-elect your officers, which are the president, vice president, and the secretary of the commission, all of which have to be members of the commission. And you have the option of nominating and electing them one at a time, or you can nominate a slate. It's up to you. We just need nominations and a motion.
I would nominate Mr. Hopper for the position of president.
I'll second that.
Do we have any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Kevin for vice president.
I'll second that.
All right.
Nominate Ryan for secretary.
And I'll second that.
Do we have any other nominations? All right, then it would be appropriate if one of you would make a motion to close the nominations and nominate the 3 individuals. I'll rename them: Mr. Hopper as the president, Mr. Hoover as the vice president, and I'm sorry, did I get that right? Okay, so making sure, and Mr. Harris as the secretary.
I'll move that nominations be closed and that we elect the slate of officers you just read.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. With that, we'll turn it over to Mr. Hopper, or you can, and then you can turn it back to me for the conflict of interest if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
David, since we are being videotaped this.
Oh, okay.
Take your name, thanks.
Musical chairs.
And I know you want to get rid of that nameplate in front of you. Nobody wants to have a lawyer nameplate. Maybe even not even another lawyer.
So you do the short straw,
Yeah.
I guess you gotta have a H in your last name to
H.
serve this time.
All right. I've been advised by the recording secretary that we've received 3 conflict of interest statements and disclosures. Those being first from Kevin Hoover, as he is a member of the Redevelopment Commission and is legal representation of the Greenwood Library Board, which may request TIF funding on collaborative projects. We also have Mr. Harris, who is disclosing that he is a member of the Redevelopment Commission and an employee of Fifth Third Bank, which may offer financial banking services to the city of Greenwood. And then third, we have Mr. Campbell, who is disclosing that he is the Common Council President, and member of the Redevelopment Commission, and is disclosing for his wife, Margaret Campbell, who is employed by Access Johnson County, which receives monies from the city of Greenwood for annual services provided to the citizens of Greenwood. And at this point, unless there's any questions or discussion further on those items, it would be appropriate to have a motion to accept those disclosure statements.
Oh, second.
Motion by Mr. Moe. Or were you the second?
I'll be
Who's
the
first. Who's the first? I didn't
Oh.
hear. You're the first.
I'm the first.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr.
Hold on a second here.
Since you're
Well,
one of
it's
those.
right.
Do we have
I'll
the
second.
ability? Thank you.
Yep. I'll second.
All right.
Any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye then.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, approved.
Thank you.
We all received the meeting minutes from our December 10th meeting. Any discussion on those? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept those as presented.
So motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Hoover. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? And it's approved. New business, resolution number 2020-01. So I usually read those off. Do you read those off the whole motion? Okay. Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Pat Sherman, Compass Point CPA, here and asking for consideration of an abatement for a spec building that's 149,725 square feet. It's going to be located about 2400 East Main Street, Greenwood. It's the old area for the Blackthorn Distillery, if you remember that. They have sold that property to CA Industrial Holdings. Mr. Jim McGill and then the two are here representing CA Holdings. So we're asking for a 10-year property tax abatement. The construction will be roughly $7,500,000 in the building. Again, we're asking for a 10-year abatement. If you have any questions, or you have in your folder the picture of the building, our rendering, our application, and our SB1, you can see that it is a speculative building, as in the past we think there'll be at least 15 employees there with salaries of $18 per hour, with including benefits. So if you have any questions, we're here. You can see the financial data in the back of your packet as far as the amount of the abatement. And by the way,
Give me the opportunity to volunteer.
Volunteer definitive date.
here that we have that the owner will commit to an estimated completion date of June 30, 2021.
And can we consider the start date and the completion date firm
July
dates?
1st would be 2020 would be when we'd like to start to run through the planning and zoning process right now. So there's some time lag before we get shovels in the dirt. But
So it sounds like
Like
June
July.
may not be a firm date, but
as far as the start date, we'd be at least July
okay.
before we can.
But the completion date of, I think you said June 30th,
Yes.
would be a firm date.
That is a firm date.
Thank you.
Pat, who's your target? It's a spec building right now, but who's your target for this at some point?
Well, it's a great sized building for what we need here. It's about 149,000, so it can be split up into 50,000. Our target is light manufacturing, some very light distribution. I mean, the size doesn't lend itself to big box distribution, so it's going to be small,
Okay.
smaller entities.
Yeah, I would say similar to what, Becknell's doing, Shear's done before, Pinchell's, same kind, it's a big mixture. Usually these companies are typically a little higher office percentage, employee intensive, that's usual we'll see in these type of companies, or these type of, these smaller companies, not that truck intensive.
Okay, thank you.
This is a good sized building for us in Johnson County, especially in Greenwood, for our getting smaller businesses in there that can help our economy and have typically higher wages.
Sherman, for the record, could you introduce the person who just spoke?
That's Jim McGill with CA Industrial.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I move we approve resolution 2020-01.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Resolution 2020-01 is approved.
Thank you. I don't know if you all understood that the Johnson County Development Corp now and the Greenwood Chamber have now merged. It's called Aspire, so you'll see that coming for you many times. So we're trying to help our economic development here in Johnson County. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Campbell, Mr. Hopper, may I put you on the council resolution sponsors? Thank you.
No old business. Capital project report. Professional service agreement with RL Associates, Inc. Kevin Steinmetz portion of the program.
Yeah, unfortunately. We'll try to move relatively quickly a number of items, but relatively small. This is an engagement with RLR, their signage consultants, branding consultants, as well as other work they do, but primarily the signs you can see go up all across the city. We need to redo it for 2020, and we made sure to put a cap on it as well. And then I would just suggest that it would be payable from the TIF that they did work on. So the idea would be, say we are going to do a sign for Freedom Springs, we would use one of the TIFs that's eligible to spend money on Freedom Springs to pay that portion of their on-call agreement. Say we're working on Main Street entry signage or something, we would use the east side. So just a way to kind of further put out our identity throughout the city and use them. You're starting to see signs of that across the city.
And Kevin, these are, you've seen quite a number of the newer signs.
Mm-hmm.
We're not touching those. These are the other older signs.
No, this is just an on-call agreement for when we do get the opportunity. Say, for example, wayfinding to the field house. We won't get to that in this year, but to our various parks, they did the design of the ones on Fry Road that then were paid for by the Fry Road TIF and the Parks Department. So it's a way of ensuring through a professional designer that they're visible, meet our brand standards and everything else, and then we go out and get quotes for production and install them. And this just allows us to be able to engage them on an hourly basis, and we put a cap on it for the year so we wouldn't have to come back much to the RDC.
Kevin, what happens is there a chance that it would go over that?
If it did, we'd have to come back to you guys and probably want a justification on where the hours were spent and where we're going to spend them going forward.
Did we have for 2019, did we have a similar?
Was it with the RDC or was it with the Board of Works?
No, it was RDC.
We had it with the RDC in 2019. I know the Board of Works has had them before for different things based on projects. So,
Was it the same amount?
As I recall, when I looked it up, yes.
there you go.
Do we recall if we went through the full 25,000?
We did not.
Okay, because I feel like Rob came before the council and asked for more money for signs.
Yeah, that to make them actually. So this is on the.
It's just design.
Yeah, this is on. Hey, we want to do like the one at the fire station, where the old one was taken down, and we put in a new one that this way to the Little League, this way to the amphitheater, whatever. And so they came in and said, this is the size of font you need for cars traveling at this posted speed limit. This is the height it should be at. This is so the fire people can see out of their trucks to see it. So they basically have an hourly thing to take the brand standards we built in 2014 or 15, put it into the physical environment, and then we go get quotes, or departments go get quotes, in that case Rob, to get money to actually build them out. So this would be if the RDC has an amenity or system that we're using.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the PSA with RL Associates, not to exceed $25,000?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Moan,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Harris. Any discussion?
Sorry, Kevin, say that was paper.
We'll just pay for it out of the TIF that the project is associated with. So if it's like middle school, we would use central TIF was.
Okay.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, motion passes. Madison Avenue, consideration of PSA with Strand Associates.
So this is the, it mentions in there Reverie Sewers, we've just used that name because it's the most notable of the properties, but this is basically pre-work for the streetscape project that would connect the trail through there. These are the sewers that will have to be relocated / rebuilt, the design of them. So there's actually kind of everything on the south side of Main Street connects via some very ancient, interesting ways, and this is a way to redesign them so that they no longer conflict and hopefully work a lot better after the streetscape project. So this was $12,000 for Strand. Strand does a ton of work for the sewer, sanitary sewer, and this was redesigning the sewers to avoid conflicts and function appropriately after that road work is done.
Any questions for Ken? Alright, is there a motion to approve the agreement not to exceed $12,000?
From the central TIF.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Campbell, second by Mr. Moan, is that right? Okay. Alright, Mr. Hoover. Alright, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Motion passes. 5-0. Change order for the Old City Park project.
Yeah, we just had kind of three fairly self-explanatory. The first was when we poured a new floor for the newer pavilion. It's still, I think, from the 70s or 80s, the bigger one that has the bathrooms in it. It was revealed that the columns, multiple columns on that, had degraded over time from water and other things. So we rebuilt the columns. We were able to save the roof and everything else. We just kind of basically put in a temporary support, rebuilt a column, put in a temporary support. And then on the Main Street parking lot, southwest access, that we made some changes on the southwest corner, which is where the Bonds is, so that if the configuration ever changes, whether it's the Bond or whoever else coming from that side behind Reverie and everything else, it could access into that parking lot. So we took the curb down and made it flush. Right now he's got a bay in the back, he's got a cool dog that hangs out there right now. But one thing we've learned is that things change, and even if he needed to get a vehicle pulled around there, or we needed to, or whatever, we could have that access going east-west. And then on the parking lot islands, there's originally two there. We moved it to one larger one in the back to make it easier for vehicles to enter and exit. So just some changes to that. That parking lot's almost done. If you've been by on Main Street. So just some changes there, and then the columns, when you consider scale of the project, pretty small, and very happy so far with, knock on wood, what we've encountered on this project, especially compared to some of the other ones. This is within the budget that you guys already approved, so we'd just be approving the change to the contract.
So the total $20,930?
Yeah, $20,930 change to the contract.
Is there a motion, or do you have questions, Kevin?
No, I'll move we approve change order number 4.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Second by Mr. Campbell. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Motion carried 5-0. 523 South Madison Rehab Project.
Yes, so it's the first one, the market analysis.
PSA with SBA Freedom.
So, yeah, this board had already approved the PSA with AECom, a different firm, due to just kind of disagreements on contractual issues as well as their availability. We moved to a different firm who had done market analysis. We waited until the RFP submissions would be coming in to do this. They will provide a variety of information for the city and this board as far as what the current market rates are, and what that property can demand as far as housing rents, commercial rents. It provides a good check on what incentives and what claims various developers are making. And so AECOM was leading the space. This firm also does much. They just recently did a market analysis and provided it to IPS for the Broad Ripple High School, and seeing what rents that could have, whether it went commercial, whether it went retail, and then obviously then policymakers are left to do with that what they want. But it provides essentially the most updated data to guide your decision making. And as I said, this is a small increase over the amount of money that we have for AECOM, but they're going to be able to do it in a timely fashion and get it back to us. I think the total was, it's not on the front page,
3540.
3540, I think we had 33,000 for AECOM. So this would just be increasing the budget on the market study by that increment and changing the company to SB3. It was payable out of the citizens.
Was there any payments made under the old contract?
I don't believe so, man. I believe you use the same PSA, just a matter of matching up with the firm that has the availability to deliver this in a timely fashion. Get it done. So.
Well, I'll move that we approve the PSA with SB Freeman Development Advisor for the market study.
Motion by Mr. Hoover, second by Mr. Moan. Any discussion from the board? Alright, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion approved 5-0. PSA with Patriot Engineering.
Yeah, so the Parks Department has a large contract with Brown and Gay for the field house. As part of that, they did some work for us in reaching out to a bunch of different geotechnical companies to basically give us the profile of the subsurface on the 523 site that we're about to hopefully enter some agreements into this summer with some private companies, as well as where areas where the field house and what will eventually be publicly owned infrastructure, access drives, stormwater facilities, sidewalks will go. This will basically allow us to have 59 soil borings and know what we need to do as far as what the pavement cross section needs to look like, how fast stormwater flows infiltrate the soils, so this will allow us to move forward on the next stage of the 523 site. We're about ready to technically be done with that demolition contract. Should have the last pay app here pretty soon. Just doing the checklist on that, and then move forward into what's being driven by the Parks Department, the field house rehab. So more progress on that. So it'd be not to exceed $19,800, essential to the geotechnical services on the 20 acres there at 523 South Madison.
Is there a motion to approve it as presented?
Approve as presented. Motion as presented.
Motion by Mr. Harris. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hoover. Thank you, sir. I'm a patient man. I can be quiet for a long time until somebody speaks up. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion approved 5-0. PSA with Browning Day, Mullins Deerdorf.
Yeah, so Browning Day has that large contract with Parks. What this allows us to do is have a cut fill analysis. To put it simply, we've been making a lot of synergies off this with the large amount of properties we own in Old Town. The best example is we knew that we were going to have a bunch of dirt from Serena Way and the OLG parking lot, and we knew that the DPW building was going to need it. So rather than pay to haul it off, we stored it temporarily at the DPW site. We then used that dirt there, and then to further get derivative, we knew that the crushed material from the middle school didn't have to be hauled off. We could use it as road base and DPW, and so the gravel pile that's there is getting moved as sub-base levels for the middle school. And so by doing the cut fill, when we build the field house, the idea would be that if we have excess spoils or if we have to import, we can use that synergy on either the stormwater assets that we'll end up owning or the roads, or as an incentive to a developer who is coming in, or vice versa. If they have cutter fill, we can use that in the field house. So by staying on top of what you're losing or what you need to bring in, and by having about what feels like 57 construction projects going on at the same time, you can make pretty big cost impacts across the board. So this would be $10,500, and would give us the quantities from an engineering perspective on what we're going to need or gain or have extra from the field house, as well as the pads for private development.
Is there a motion to accept the PSA with Browning Day?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Campbell. Second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Harris. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay?
That's really good work. Can you teach the school how to do that?
Which school? I don't know. That's out of city limits. I don't know if we're allowed. I guess maybe if the school, well, they don't have cities. Maybe if they can build a school in Greenwood, maybe.
Well, their students live in Greenwood.
That's true. What
Help
about
them on the west side of the city.
I don't know. You guys have got bigger projects than we can handle. I've only dealt with an
We
outdoor.
seem to move a lot of dirt, so
You got a big pool coming, so there's going to be some dirt there.
a little bit.
Consideration of Second Amendment to PSA with Rundle Ertzberger.
Yep, this is the final step for the downtown streetscape projects that I mentioned earlier. Cover sheet on that. Amanda, do you know what the increment was on that, on the change? I think it's really small. It's on there it is. I do know that. For the additional, it's $7,800. This is at the ever challenging intersection of Main and Madison. Has required some more engineering work with the angles, particularly the ramps there and turn lanes. We hope to have this project, it's at roughly 90% right now, done in design and out this spring for bid and get working on it. This connects the trail on Madison from Pearl Street down to Main, and then redoes the street on Main Street to widen the sidewalks between Madison and Meridian. So a change order of $7,800 for some additional engineering at the intersection of Main and Madison. And this contract was split evenly between the east and central tips.
Any other questions for Kevin? Is there a motion to approve the Second Amendment to the PSA for Rundle Ertzberger?
So motion.
Second by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Moan. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Kevin. Department reports. Sam Hodson, Legal Department. Anything, Sarah?
No.
Mr. Watson?
Nothing today.
Mr. Wright?
Nothing today.
Mr. Johnson? Oh, we were so close.
Good afternoon. I have one agenda item that is related to Worsville Road, Section 2. This is requesting your approval of funding for 4 parcels, and I just wanted to briefly step through those 4 parcels now. Right here, for parcel 4, again, let me clarify. These 4 parcels are all on the stretch, I guess the western half of the project. These are all along Stones Crossing Road between Honey Creek and 125 West. This parcel here, parcel number 4, we are requiring just a little over half an acre, and there's going to be a portion that will be temporary. There's impacts to land. There's actually a wooden fence and a gate. There's also kind of a wire tension fence out there in a portion of it. So the appraisal cost for this was $23,850. All four of these parcels the funds will be from the State Road 135 TIF, just like the parcels that you approved at the December meeting. And so that's my request, that you approve the funding for this parcel for $23,850 for this project, and allow city staff to proceed with the offer and acquisition.
Do we take them each individually, or can we do all four parcels?
You can do either way. I noticed in the minutes for the last meeting that we took them one at a time.
Okay, all right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Hoover, second by Mr. Bonner. All those in favor? Vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion approved.
Moving on to parcel 5 on the south side of the road. Again, there's a portion of permanent acquisition and a temporary to make the driveway connection. This is actually impacting a corrugated drain pipe, the asphalt driveway, and some trees. The appraisal here is $11,260. Also, so again, requesting the approval of the funding in that amount for this parcel.
Is there a motion?
So motion.
Motion by Mr. Harris, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bone. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion approved.
Parcel 7, back on the north side of the road, this is a permanent acquisition of 0.733 acres. This is impacting Concrete Drive, land acquisition in general, some landscaping trees and some landscaping rocks and boulders. The appraisal amount is $27,600. The unique shape of the orange block there that we're acquiring is due to some drainage adjustments that are going to be necessary. So that's my request, the approval of the funding in that amount for this parcel, $27,600 for parcel 7.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Hoover, second. Second. Second by Mr. Bone. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion approved 5-0.
And parcel 10 is just to the east of parcel 7. So if you kind of imagine the two shapes there connecting at the property line, again, that's due to drainage redesign that we're having to do as part of the project. The permanent acquisition here, just under half an acre. Similar impacts, land fencing, existing fencing, gravel driveway, the culvert pipe under the driveway, and then some landscaping, boulders and trees. The appraisal here for this one is $20,500, and so that is my request, the approval of that amount for parcel 10.
Is there a motion?
I'll make it the motion. I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Harris. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I do have a quick question. These are appraisal amounts. Does that mean we'll probably be coming back with a negotiated price at some point in the future, or will this be accepted?
It is possible. These are going to be the initial offers.
Okay, all right.
And that is it. Amanda should have a list of offerings. So cumulatively for this project, we're up to $103,000 that has been approved for land acquisition.
In that regard,
Oh, sorry.
since we have a list that's prepared and to be in conformance with statute, I would recommend that the corresponding list be approved by motion, and that is on the SharePoint.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll switch by Mr. Campbell, second by Mr. Harris.
I have
Any discussion?
Question, what are the different colors on here representing?
Off the top of my head, the green represents parcel funding that was approved at prior meetings. I think in the far right column is the date that I have back in there. So the blue rows are what we discussed today.
Today.
Thank you. Signed.
I'll move when we approve the offering list.
I think we got that already.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Campbell, Mr. Harris, is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right, motion approved.
Thank you.
Item Adam did send us an email. I don't think he had anything really to share. And he's not here, so I'm assuming he's got nothing. Mr. Mayor, anything from you, sir?
I have nothing.
Claims docket. Oh, sorry. That's it right there. All right, total $241,377.15.
A motion that we accept the claims documents presented.
Motion by Mr. Campbell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hoover. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? All right, claims docket is approved, 5-0. Anybody else have anything? Anybody? No?
Nope.
All right. Well, then we will stand adjourned at 5:06 p.m. Thank you, everyone.